once again to Talking Small Press Comics, episode 21 this time, with Steve Keeter fixing his hair, which looks very nice, and myself, Larned Justin. Your hair looks nice. I just got a haircut, so we are in good shape as far as hair. Other than that, we don't have anything else to say. We'll see you next time.
That was it. See you next time.
Right. Oh, wait a minute. No, we're supposed to do comics, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. What do you want to do first?
It seems like we're caught in some sort of matrix where time and space connect and everything. So might as well.
Oh, Matrix.
We have Matrix here.
Sherman Burnett sent four copies of Matrix.
4 issues.
I mean, 4 issues, not 4 copies.
4 issues.
4 issues. So I got issues 19 through 22.
From behind, and that's got to be Scott McClung. Is that Scott McClung?
These two, the first two are Scott McClung.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tony Lorenz. And then Joe Bagden, number 22.
Yeah.
So he's got a lineup of super artists doing this.
Here's Scott McClung's cover on number 19.
Yes. Yeah.
And I gotta say, you know, darn, she's one heck of a beautiful superhero.
Yeah, that's Matrix. Yep.
Yeah, it would be difficult to be in combat with her and not go like, oh, come on, you look gorgeous. I don't want to fight you, you know, but she would stomp you. She would stomp you because I've seen what she can do.
You pretty good, I'm sure. And this number 19 is from 2018. Mm-hmm. So, you know, goes back a little ways, but starts off really with her friend being stabbed right in the first panel.
Right.
And when you get stabbed in the first panel, that's painful, you know?
Yep. Right off the bat.
Right off the bat, stabbed.
And she discovers that she has power she didn't realize she had.
Didn't realize, yes. She did not realize she could help him, and she could actually save his life. Although she recommends he does go to the hospital. But
yeah, he does end up in the hospital.
And he does go to the hospital, but she saves his life.
Yeah, he's not in there for long, though. And this is it's a complicated story with a lot of characters. I love the flying scenes. And
I was
like
just going to say, she can fly.
Yeah, and the way Scott McClung illustrates this in the first couple of issues that we have, because he's a terrific artist, and that's just beautiful.
Yeah. The artwork,
the way she takes off above the city.
I would say for me, some of the print was a little bit small. This would be great digest size because you could appreciate the artwork a little more, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah, you can use that.
That's why we have this.
And you could wear glasses too.
We have that, so we got double, we're prepared.
But now, I'll warn everybody, there's a lot of characters in Matrix. Just to name a few: Jet, Siphon, Energon, Sonic, and
Night Slayer.
Also some fighting clones. So
that's right.
A lot of people to keep track of.
It makes it interesting, because if someone gets killed, it turns out it might not have been that person. It might have been a clone of that person.
Might have been a clone.
So that person pops up again a little bit later.
Yes.
And you got a lot of heroes here and villains.
Lots of heroes, lots of villains, lots of action.
Underworld, sort of a criminal underworld run by people who have superheroic henchmen who are mostly female.
Yeah, most of the superheroes are females. Yeah, and there is a group called the Circle.
Yeah.
And those are also superheroes. Now, this seems to change a little bit between somebody she thought was a villain, turns out kind of to be on her side, I believe, if I read that correctly.
That's right. That would be Sonic.
Yeah.
Sonic has been conflicted, and she ends up ends up going back, helping Matrix, but she had for a little while been confused, and she ends up with the bad guys. She goes back to the good guys.
Yeah.
And,
so as you read this, you got to really pay attention, and if your mind wanders, you're going to lose what's going on.
Right. You got to pay attention. So I read the issue, and I read it like I read all 4 of these like 3 times.
Yeah.
But Sonic is just trying to make sure there's Sonic in the background.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's Matrix.
You know what I noticed a little bit.
I love this Joe Bagden illustration.
Oh yeah,
page.
great,
brilliant artwork by Joe Bagden. Yeah. Hmm.
I was going to say if I can find it. I always lose what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Maybe it was in this.
You got 4 issues to flip through also here.
Let me see if it's this one.
I don't know how many back issues that Sherman has, but
I think a lot because
as many as you can.
I was in the small press syndicate with Sherman Burnett for a long time.
Right.
Lots of his comics. But this is something, this was in the Joe Bagden version, but the bad guys remind me of, the G.I. Joe bad guys?
Yeah.
They look a little bit like them. You see that?
Yeah.
Well, I forgot the name of the G.I. Joe bad guys, but whatever they were.
I didn't follow those that closely. But
yeah.
There's some
anyway, they look a little bit like
that.
Something like that.
And
anyway, great stuff here from Sherman Burnett.
And every issue ends with a cliffhanger, and this is the one at the end of the latest issue.
Yep.
Where all these bad guys show up to face off against another bad guy, and they're all fighting for control of the city.
So I suggest, now these are only 50 cents a piece, can't go wrong. And they're about 14, 15 pages each. So good little stories. Very cool.
Yeah, some of the best mini comics I've seen recently. That's for sure. And Sherman Burnett, he's still, I think he's still heading up the Facebook group, the Sherman Burnett Facebook, no, the Small Press Syndicate.
Small Press Syndicate, yeah.
I think Sherman's still in charge.
I think so.
Yeah. I know he is. Hi, Sherman.
All right, we got something else here. What do you want to look at next?
Well, we got Zombie Dave. Zombie Dave. Now, this is the first issue.
Yep, this is number 1, but it's number 1. I mean, he's done some of this before, but I think this is number 1 in this format, and of course in this year.
Well, I got a message here from Matt Decker, the artist and writer and publisher, and he says
from Lebanon, Missouri, by the way, not too far from St. Louis.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So he's a homeboy.
Yes, he is.
Homeboy, and he started Zombie Dave in 2009.
Yeah.
30 copies, and I guess it took off, so he printed more, and he keeps going back and printing. And guess what? It looks like there's 4 other issues out there somewhere. Matt, we'd like to see the more recent issues, if you don't mind.
I think this is the most recent issue right here.
What's he saying here? He's saying,
I believe,
I've been blessed to be able to add 4 subsequent issues. And I finished
maybe this is
in 2020 with issue number 5. So yes, he has done some other ones, but he sent us the first one.
Yeah, okay.
And
somehow I thought this was kind of a new beginning, but maybe
I mean, it looks new. But this one actually came out in 2018.
Okay, I misunderstood that then.
Yeah, but he does say in the message, if we want to see the other ones, let him know. Yep, Matt, we want to see the other ones. This is great.
So here's the funny thing. This is what's so interesting about this, and it's full color inside.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's all full color.
Look at any page.
Now, Dave the Zombie is working for this company, and his job is to design T-shirts. Although he is one of the laziest zombies you will find, because he does everything but design the doggone T-shirts. And he plays this game. It's like a kind of a Dungeon and Dragons type game that he plays all day long when he's supposed to be working.
There it is. He's playing with the cards.
Yeah, he's supposed to be working, and of course he's playing these games. And the owner, or I think he's the owner, is mad at him. You're not doing your job. Now, for some reason that I don't know, the owner has a shadow over his face at all times.
Yeah,
throughout the book. His
entire
head,
issue, and I haven't figured that out. Maybe if we read the other 4 issues, we can figure that out.
Maybe we would know why his head is always in a shadow.
Yeah.
But through the whole book, it is.
And he keeps, and the thing is, apparently they're working for an organization, I think it's Parasol Dynamics.
Yes.
It has something to do with unleashing zombies in the world and, unleashing a potential apocalypse or, whatever's going on here. But
what happens here is I believe this card game that he's playing kind of comes to life. While he's involved in it, it kind of comes to life. We have
it's more than a card game.
This guy from the card game, there he is.
It opens the door to a supernatural realm.
Right.
It unleashes this guy.
Yeah. This guy comes out.
Cheetamunculus.
Yeah.
The destroyer of time.
And
he's this gorilla wizard.
This is why you can only do this stuff in comic books. Right. You can't do this anywhere else. And Matt Decker understands that that's what comic books are made for. This kind of story, because
they're fighting. He and Cheetamunculus are fighting over the cards, especially one particular card that seems to be especially powerful. Mm-hmm. And here's Cheetamunculus is pleading with him, and somewhere over here I think he's snatching the card.
Yeah.
Yep. And smacking the zombie.
Look at that page.
But I think, yeah, and God, look at this artwork and the coloring. Oh my God! The artwork
and the colors are beautiful.
Absolutely
very well
beautiful.
Done. It's 24 pages long, and the price is $5 for a 24 full color page comic book. And a story you're not going to find anywhere else. I'm almost guaranteed that.
Yeah.
That's one heck of a story.
And in case this particular page is pretty violent, but it's pretty descriptive. Mm-hmm. Dave is a zombie. He's doing what zombies do right there.
Yep, that's what they do.
And
they take your head off.
The character in dark, he's number 9, like he's some sort of an agent or something, and he controls him. And they found out they tried different things to pacify these zombies to get them to stop eating human flesh. And what they finally settled on was pork rinds. And
pork
Dave loves pork rinds.
Yeah, I think everybody should know that. But anyway, pork rinds. Sock puppet is also in it, right there.
Sock puppet. Yeah, it looks like Thor. The Thor sock puppet. Puppet.
Right.
Sock, whatever it is, sock monkey.
Wild stuff. Excellent production. Really well done. Just really good.
Yeah, totally.
And we'll have all his contact information in the description below. Good stuff.
This one's just pretty unique.
Yeah. Well, we got next up. How about Unabashedly Trashed.
Unabashedly Trashed.
Unabashedly Trashed by Floyd Sumner. And the cover is by Floyd Sumner.
This microphone and get a little better picture.
Yeah.
I can go on this side of the microphone or this side of the microphone.
Well, I don't know.
Well, I don't know. The microphone, I've got the same position now where the microphone isn't up in the picture like it was before, so I can show more of the cover now. And
but if you cover your mouth with the comic book, you won't get the microphone. It won't go to the mic.
It's got to be on this side.
Yes. Anyway, that's neither here nor there.
It's taken us 21 episodes to get this all worked out, folks.
Yes. But this reminds me somewhat of Mad Magazine.
Oh, it
little bit,
absolutely does. And some of it is very much
because
like Mad Magazine.
it looks a little like it, but it's quite a bit different.
And some of it's like,
It's a collection by a
let me
bunch of
see.
different cartoonists, including Floyd.
Well, what we got here is these are the artists that are on the those darn cards. Why am I drawing a blank?
I don't
The
know.
garbage pail cards
Oh, okay.
that Floyd was involved with. Sorry, Floyd. You know, I'm getting old, man. But the garbage pail kids, and all of these artists were involved in that series of cards.
Okay.
And, so that's what happened. I guess Floyd pulled them
He
all
must
together.
have got them all to contribute a
got 'em
little
all to-
something.
to
So you've got
contribute
all
to
kinds of
this.
stuff in here.
There's some interesting. I
Um,
like this one here. Boy, it's by who is it? Somebody named Stevens. Let me see. Boy and the Boogeyman. Mike Stevens. Look at this.
Oh, yeah.
Little boy's in bed, and something opens the door, right?
Yeah.
And so he he opens
Now,
the
this
door.
one, look at this. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I just want the Boogeyman is there, and that's the Boogeyman.
Yeah, he is.
But okay, I guess I shouldn't tell you the end of the story, but it turns out the Boogeyman's not such a bad guy after all. He's just, well, I will kind of tell you, I guess, because they're running him, little boy and his teddy bear are running.
Running
At
away.
the end, the Boogeyman ends up in the bed with the teddy bear because it turns out he's not such a bad guy.
Yeah.
He's just afraid of the dark.
There you go. Look at this though, by Tom Bunk, and it's the story or end of the story. Okay, but I challenge you to find a story in here.
Yeah, some of this stuff. Yeah,
It's worth trying to find the story. I never did find the story in here, but the artwork is fantastic.
Right. Some of it's influenced by Robert Crumb and the Underground comics.
Oh, I'm sure. I am sure it is. Yeah. Look at that. And I think Tom Bunk has.
Yeah, this one exactly. This one is one of those. That's one of those. It looks a lot like the Underground comics.
Yeah. This will remind you of that. Yeah.
Yeah. There was one in particular reminded me of the cover of Cheap Thrills, the album by Janis Joplin and Big Brother and the Holding Company. It's in here somewhere, but like everything else, you can't find it when you're looking for it.
No.
I'm just flipping through, folks. But here's another one like that. This one is by the same guy. It's just a different page.
That's what I was looking for that. I couldn't find it.
This one's towards the back. And yeah, I mean, you can look. I was looking all through this, and you can look through. There's so much detail in there.
Oh, you could look at that for a long time. There's all kinds of stuff in there.
I'm not sure what it all adds up to.
I don't know either, but it's very cool looking.
Yeah, it's fun. It's great fun to look at. And you'll spend a lot of time just looking at the little details in there.
Here's a nice looking zombie. Born to Kill.
Yeah. Who drew that? Was that Floyd? It wasn't.
Who that's by, but
I know the inside back cover was by Floyd.
this is Floyd. Yes, the inside back cover is Floyd.
Floyd Sumner. In the old days, we used to call him Robert Sumner. I guess it's Robert Floyd Sumner.
Okay. Nice work though. Look at that.
Yeah, really nice.
Good cartooning.
Yeah,
And this is
amazing.
About 37 pages.
I should back that light up a little bit there.
And let me look if he says how much it is here.
There's so much crazy stuff. Let's see here. This one here, retro refracto sparkle cards right here. This one, all these people are coming to get these cards. Okay, the cards are here, and they're coming from, out of space here, and out of the sky, and down on the ropes. They're coming up through the floor.
Yeah.
Here and everywhere. And it's an unsavory lot of people, right? There's there's vomit right here, and you got to stay away from that. And so, but this is the kind of craziness you got from it's a madness unleashed from the Garbage Pail Kids gang. So
Yeah, really, pretty
these
neat.
guys are
That's got some stuff in it. It really does.
totally offbeat and irrelevant. And yeah, you want to talk about who did this one? The Top Loader of Terror. This looks like EC Comics. Was that Floyd?
I'm not sure.
Top Loader of Terror.
There's something. This looks like I've seen this work before, but I'm not sure. Lowell Isaac. I don't know if I've seen that. Does that look familiar? That style?
The one on the left or the one on the right?
The one on my
Your
finger.
left.
Yeah, my finger.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
But
it looks,
like I say,
it
these
looks
all guys
familiar to me, but maybe
these guys
I'm.
all did. Oh, it's called Flipped Out. The story's Flipped Out, and I think it's by Floyd.
That one,
I'm
oh, the one
thinking
you're
about.
looking at. This one is
Yeah, it's
by
Floyd.
Lowell Isaac.
So you want to talk about a mad influence and EC Comics influence and everything.
Yeah.
Here it is right here.
Right there.
And that's Floyd, and he's got the style dead on. Looks like something straight out of Tales from the Crypt. But again, it has to do with collecting cards, and it's not what you expect it to be when you start out. There's this insane little boy who's obsessed with collecting cards. You see him right there.
Yeah.
Well, somehow he ends up falling in love, and that changes everything. So what can I tell you?
Happy ending. Very happy
Yeah,
ending.
it's kind of like my life,
Here's one called Eerie. And this is by.
There's
I
so
just
much in
had
this
it,
book.
and I lost
So
it.
much.
I just looked at it and already lost it.
It can't take
Brandon
too much-
Snyder.
Brandon Snyder. Yep,
Yeah.
that's him. Yep, Brandon Snyder.
Yeah.
So
And that's goes on for a few pages here.
some of the craziest, most irreverent stuff you ever saw in your life, like the
Yeah.
Garbage Pail Kids series of cards. This is great. It's by the same guys, and it's the same quality. And the Floyd man pulls it all together,
Yeah.
and does his usual terrific job. So
And he says he's going to do another issue, and you can contribute to it if you want to. So there you go.
well, I have to put on my demented cap. Start working on that one. But yeah, just a brilliant, a lot of brilliant work.
Yeah, really good, really neat. I love this kind of stuff. I love, so it's really neat.
Nothing you can show to your mom and say, "Hey, mom, look, this is why I'm into comics."
Yeah, right.
But it's still cool.
Now, of course, if you want to find out more about comics than just our show, we have the Xenology Report.
From Alan Sissom.
And that's from Alan Sissom. And this will remind you of the old days when all we had was little zines like this to tell us about what kind of comics were out there.
Yeah.
He reviews the comics, puts some pictures in from the pages of the comics, does a write-up on them, and it's very well done.
He reviews some of the stuff that we reviewed. Including Tom Feldrath's Heroics Past. He's got a review here.
That was one of the ones we did.
Yeah.
And coming up in our next show, I will just tell you there's an article in here by about Jeff Wood. And Jeff Wood sent us a package of comics, and it will be in our next show. So keep an eye out for that. And if you should get this first, read about it, and then when we have the comics, you can see them.
That's a letter. That's a letter from Jeff there, and there's a picture of Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And he sent quite a package.
he's eating
Really a lot of
he's
stuff.
eating the Xenology report.
Yeah.
Yep. Jeff and I met at Chicago convention in '86 and '87. Sometimes I reference that couple of years because we had a huge small press contingent at that time.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Main was there, Larry Blake was there, Jeff Wood was there, and a bunch of us guys shared the same room. We were the guys I just mentioned. We were all in the same room, and a bunch of other guys, some of whom aren't around anymore, some of whom went on to become professionals or whatever, professionals.
Yeah.
I consider we're all professionals. We've been doing this for so long.
We just don't make any money at it.
Yeah, some people
And a
just make more
professional does
money.
make money. That's the only difference.
Yeah,
We don't
really,
make a dime,
really,
but they do.
because the thing about small press is it's not about working for a big company. It's not about making a lot of money. It's not about they're making movies with your heroes in there, which would be cool.
Now, don't forget a couple of people have made movies, which is Matt Fizzell. He made a movie of his character, and Kel Crum is working on a movie. So there's movies in small press too. You just have to find them.
Alan Freeman makes movies too.
Alan Freeman made a movie. He certainly did. And his movie won some movie festival awards. First place comedy in some of the festivals.
Right, that's right.
Yeah.
And I got some of his stuff saved that I want to watch later. I can't think of the name of it right now. But
I was going to mention too, in our next show coming up, we've got Dark Girl by Floyd Lewis and Strange Chaotic World by Rob Cooley.
And Chaotic World.
Yeah.
You got to slow down when you say that one. By Rob Cooley.
Right.
One of the coolest guys I know in the small press.
Anyway, that's what's coming up in the next show, which will be probably in another week. And who knows what we have after that? We know we have. I wish I could
interviews
talk.
coming up.
This microphone is. If it would help me talk, it would be much better. But anyway, we're going to have some interviews coming up too. So we talked to a couple people who said yes, they would like to come on and ruin their reputation by being on our show. So that will be coming up also. Yep. So keep an eye out for that.
If you don't mind me saying, there is a potential. It looks like we might be interviewing Steve Shipley.
Yep.
Steve's had some health problems over the last couple of years, the last several years, but it looks like he's back on the up and mend now, and he said he's interested in. Hopefully, we'll be talking to Steve very soon. He's got a long and illustrious career in small press. He's done so much great stuff,
Great watercolorist also.
Yeah.
Beautiful watercolors.
Yeah. The stuff he's doing now is better than anything he's ever done, and he's like even older than me.
Is he?
A couple of years older than me. He's an old pal. We share the same birthday. We're both born on April 20th. And we go way back. He one of I think he contributed. Yeah, he contributed to #1, which is my first zine of any real substance in small press. And longtime pal. So it'd be cool. We were going to schedule an interview with him a few months ago, but he fell ill again. Yeah. And but he's doing better, and that's good news.
Oh yeah, great. So okay, I don't think we have anything else. You had one more thing, didn't you, to go over? Did you?
I did mention after that.
Yeah, which I had got before Steve got it, and I did it without Steve, so he's going to do this one without me, which would probably be better.
You can chime in.
Okay.
But it's Micah Liesenfeld. He's got a new mini comic with an interview with Dimitri Jackson.
Yeah. And
Dimitri Jackson, he has a web comic called what's it called? Black Wax
Boulevard.
Black Wax Boulevard. It's about a record store.
And he's been doing a lot of music. Yeah.
He's been doing this for quite a while. And if you go to the website, it's just as you see one amazing page of artwork after another. And not only that, it's a comic that makes you think. He talks about like in this interview here, and Micah Liesenfeld interviews him, and he talks about well, different generations of people who get into music, but they become kind of splinter. They, like, one generation thinks they're cooler than the previous generation. And what happens is every new generation thinks they're rebelling against what came before. So a group of people think, well, that's cool. So they fall in with this new generation, and then they all end up liking the same music or buying the same music, dressing the same way, talking the same way, you know, with the latest hip slogans, whatever it is they're saying. And the thing is, what they're doing is they're becoming just like the generations that were previous. And and he points that out. Dimitri Jackson points that out in the interview. And, you know, part of what you see in the comics is this sort of thing happening, and you can, you know, judge for yourself. But that's what happens. You know, every generation thinks they're cooler. It thinks they're rebelling, but they're all becoming part of a clique of people who are just like they are. So they're not being individuals.
Not quite as we. They're not quite the
doing
outlaws
the same
they think
their
they
parents
are.
did, or whoever. And I thought that was fascinating about this interview. It was a great interview. In this
what a
book.
great cartoonist! Wow, he's really good.
Yeah, and he's such a superb cartoonist. But you could check that Blackswack Boulevard, the website. Just type that in, and you'll find it.
Black Wax Boulevard.
Black Wax Boulevard. Black Wax. That's records. So. And there's just a lot of great stuff. Great artwork. The stories are great. The dialogue is great, and it makes you think.
Nice.
So. And
he's from St. Louis, which is
there you go.
Another good point.
Another homeboy.
Yes.
Right.
Well, the clock on the wall says that Zoom is going to kick us off the air.
Yeah, that's about
because they don't have a free service anymore. This one is 40 minutes long, and if you want it longer, you got to pay for it. So we haven't done that.
You don't have to pay for it, but we would.
No, you wouldn't, unless you'd like to donate to us, which is another story completely.
There you go.
So we have a way around that, but this time I think we're going to end just about right on time. So. All right, now you make sure you subscribe and hit that bell notifications button, because that's going to tell you when our next episode is on. So we will see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye-bye.